Howdy there, folks. It's Hunter, and today's video is going to be very short and to the point. Long story short, Bungie is reverting sunsetting. So that means any of your old roles are going to be good again. This is a little cutout from the previous TWID, and at the bottom there it said that after thoroughly considering the problem space, we came to the decision to remove power limits from all items starting in the final shape. Now, they weren't really specific other than that, so I don't really have any other further details. None of us do, but it sounds like they're effectively, and I, after rereading the TWAB a couple times, I didn't really get exactly how they were going to go about it, like exactly what power was going to scale from. You know, maybe somebody understood it better than me or is less lazy of a reader than me. You can feel free to comment there and clarify. But effectively, all of the gear power is going to be gone. And so that means that all of our old stuff is going to be usable again. Sunset stuff that's just chilling in your vault. Maybe some old god rolls that you got. More importantly for me, that means, and a lot of other bow mains out there, it means that Hush is going to be back. And this is kind of ironic because I just recently made that video, you know, about how Vengeful Whisper was effectively Hush reborn, and in a way it was like Hush was back. Well, I'm going to kind of go back on that just a little bit, because honestly, I took Hush out for a spin here recently, and this is not the gameplay you see of it. Obviously, I'm using Tyranny here, but the reason I don't have much Hush gameplay is because it freaking sucked. And it was kind of disappointing, because I've ranted and raved about Hush for years, and I've always missed it. I've always wanted it to come back, and blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm on mouse and keyboard now, so it would feel so much better, so I thought. But at the end of the day, Hush is a very, very aggressive bow. In order to fully utilize it, you need to be pretty close to land that hipfire headshot. And obviously it's going to be better on M&K versus controller. And it requires you to kind of get in the thick of it. And with the way that things are now, you're just going to get absolutely ripped apart by auto rifles. And even when auto rifles inevitably get nerfed again and puts hand cannons back in their place, Hush will be a little bit better. And you know, I may eat these words too. It may come back and we start using Hush, and maybe I practice with a little more and use it for longer than an hour or two. And it'll feel a lot better. But I think part of it is just kind of me gravitating away from the aggressive bow style. You know, you see a lot of people kind of championing the aggressive bow style, and they, you know, I'm not knocking their style at all. You know, you see players like Steezel and Hinra out there playing up in people's faces, bouncing around, you know, comboing with throwing knives and glaives and whatever else to be as aggressive as possible with them. And I'm certainly not knocking that style. Haha, pun intended. But me personally, I've kind of grown into my own here, and I think I much prefer a more tactical playstyle when it comes to using bows. I like to just kind of sit back and rack up the kills and farm with them. And I'm actually going to be doing a video coming up on that soon. Couple different videos. And one of them is going to be the style that you see Henry and Steezel using, and the other is going to be my own personal flavor that I've kind of been developing here recently. And, you know, don't get me wrong, both are effective. Those guys are definitely better players than I am. But for my personal style, and for most people out there for a more competitive sense, being hyper-aggressive with a bow really just isn't the best thing in the world. Because you have to hit all headshots there in order to get a great TTK. And I say great TTK, it's still not good enough to compete with the better stuff that's out there. And frankly speaking, there are weapons out there that are capable of achieving 100% body shot TTKs that are faster than what a bow can if it hits all precisions. Now, not the fastest of bows, mind you, but the vast majority of them. Things like sidearms all have a TTK straight to the body of like 1.17, 1.2, which is faster than a lot of the bow rolls that are out there. So even when they hit all headshots. But I didn't really mean to get into TTKs and stuff like that. And I kind of drifted into a Hush hate video here. I don't hate Hush at all. Hush is great, and I think it's going to be interesting to see it come back. I think it's going to be interesting to see a lot of other weapons come back. So jumping off my bow rant there for a minute, all those other weapons, if you got, you know, I'm sure by now most of you like me have deleted a lot of your old god rolls just because they aren't really usable anymore, and I'm sure that you're just as irritated with Bungie as I am. Personally, I had a really good Spiteful Fang that I miss right about now, especially since I've wanted that to come back for forever. But supposedly Bungie has a whole bunch of stuff that they're gonna, or they said that they're gonna bring stuff back, basically. Now, the loot pool is gonna be massive at that point, the world loot pool, and I really don't I can't even imagine the grind or how irritating that's going to be. I'm honestly kind of hoping that they just do something wild and just make it so that sunset weapons can just, or not even sunset weapons, just make it so that world loot items for a, whatever price they want to set. I'm assuming it would be a little more expensive, but make it so that world loot items can just be freaking pulled from collections and it'll randomize their rolls. And I know a lot of people are going to scream and cry about that and be like, oh my god, no, that's ridiculous. That's going to kill doing activities or, whatever. I don't care. We have so many daggum weapons in the game at this point. And I absolutely don't want to see anything like sunsetting ever again. Everybody should be able to use, if they have a weapon that they really like, everybody should have a more linear way to attain that weapon. I don't like these limited seasonal models where we have these weapons that you can farm the crap out of while they're here and then they're just gone. Well, if somebody joins Destiny way later down the road, then they're going to have basically no way to ever get that weapon, and they're sure as heck not going to have a way to craft it. We need a more targeted way to get these legendaries. They need to come up with some sort of system, and even, actually what they could do, and this would be pretty cool, what they really should do is they should create a system very similar to our exotic focusing, where you go to Rahul and you give him an exotic engram and whatever other materials, and you can focus certain exotics. And obviously it's kind of expensive. They should do the same thing with the world loot pool and make it through Rahul. Make it so that anything that is in the world loot pool is farmable. And then at that point, just flip a freaking switch. And then all of a sudden re-add hundreds of guns. And I know that's going to be kind of an explosion. It's going to be a lot at once, but that'd be a lot of fun. There'd be a lot of stuff out there for people to chase, and it would be really, really exciting. And there's a lot of fan favorite bows out there. I myself, I would love to see Spiteful Fang be farmable again. What's that other one? Subtle Calamity is the other one that everybody always lost their gourd over because they had some really good rolls, and a lot of people were sad to see that one go. But bow users aside, there's a whole lot of other cool stuff out there for every weapon, for all different archetypes all across, that I think would be really cool to see come back in some farmable manner. And it would be nice if they would implement some kind of system like that. I think something similar to the Rahul exotic focusing thing probably would be the best. Because otherwise, there's just no feasible way we're going to be able to track all these down. And at this point, I think we're kind of owed something like that. After the crap they pulled with sunsetting, where they deleted all of our crap, and then said, oh, no, sunsetting's never going to be reverted, guys. Don't, you can safely delete your stuff. And then now, hey, you know what? We're going to revert that, guys. Like, come on. They really screwed us over with this. So I really hope that they implement some kind of a system that will make all of these easily obtainable, especially since they're sunset and they're so much older. And they said they're going to spice up the perks. I don't care about spicing up the perks. You can bring them back as they are. People are going to be happy. But it's kind of a bittersweet moment. It's really, really cool that sunsetting is getting reverted. And for those of you that have, refused to let go of some of your precious babies, maybe just keep them as memento, they're going to be viable again. So good for y'all, and I'm happy for y'all at least. I was almost in that camp, and I finally just caved in and deleted them, sort of out of anger, like, well, I guess I'm never getting these back. And now I'm in the same boat as a lot of other people. So hopefully they'll come up with something that'll let us farm these. And yay, sunsetting's getting reverted. Kind of a yay. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I know this was a little bit of rambling, but it's definitely an interesting topic, so I want to hear what you guys think about it. Bye.